There you go. Uh, it's usually it's going to be from 1 to 4 today, but usually we go through it. We always finish a little bit early because I take away a lot of the activities that are meant for the in-person session. So, but if you want to attend the in-person session, we are also having one for the policies and compacts next Tuesday from 1 to 4, where we'll have those policies printed out for your district. And we'll really just take that day to go over them to see if you meet all the requirements, changing them, and things like that. But in this one, we'll just look at other examples of PFE policy. I was like, my computer screen doesn't want to go through. So, a little bit about me if you don't know who I am. My name is Monica Diaz, and I am the PFE specialist here at Region 15. I've been here, I don't even remember how, when you're at like, you worked for a place for so long that I don't even know how long you've worked there. I want to say it's 12 years. Wait, Tammy, how many do you have? Okay, 11 years. I have been here at the ESC for 11 years. I'm also part of the PFE Texas Council. I have 3 children, 16, 12, 9. So if y'all have any teenagers at home, y'all know what I'm going through. I also have a little girl who is going on 29, going on 21. I'm pursuing my PhD through Texas Tech University. Um, and I think also this one, I think I'm on my 5th year on this, but I'm on the last phase of my dissertation. So I see the light, it's coming. And I also have on the side, a marketing business with, called NC Squared. My business partner is Mercedes. So, but she's boss. She's the boss of this business. I also have 2 dogs, 1 cat, 1 fish, probably over 100 goats, 8 chickens, and 1 honey bunny, which is my husband. But he loves that we're just animal people. So if y'all are animal people, y'all we could be late. But I like also putting this on the slide because parent and family engagement is about relationships and building these partnerships, and what better way to get to know each other. So one of the things that we've also talked about is like, what brings you joy? And it's something that you could also ask families that are coming in. Hey, let me see you in your phone. Like, or not let me see your phone. Show me a picture, one of your favorite pictures. So, does anyone want to share out what brings them joy? Like, what picture on your phone brings you joy? What is your screensaver picture on your phone? Anybody? If not, I'm gonna call out on Tammy. Tammy, what's your screensaver picture?
Mine changes every hour. I just have it rotates through some of my favorite pictures, and it's usually family. Sometimes it's my pets, just pictures that make me smile.
Anybody else would like to share? Oh, your husband? It's your husband, right? And then, okay, good. Oh, I don't know, because it could have been your brother or something. Anybody else? Oh, Mercedes, loving it. So, really, thank you all for sharing. And usually, what that when you do activities like this, you start to see that. And we did this at a event that we had, and I'm gonna say 95% of the people had pictures of family members on their phone, on their screensaver. Others had it was like a location somewhere, like a beach or a sunset or like. But so what is it that brings us joy? our family, our people. So, anywho, just a little bit about ourselves. Okay, so today we're really going to take a deep dive on the district policy, the campus policy, the school parent compact, and the evaluation of the three. This is one of the programs that we have been telling districts, please work on your policies, your compacts, your PFE program, because it is going to be validated. And sure enough, last year and this year, it was one of the ones that got selected. And so I feel for the next couple years, it probably will get selected. Especially now, if you didn't attend the meeting this morning, Tammy mentioned TA even gets evaluated. And one of the big things that they got back was that they were doing so well was on the PFE portion of it. And so when we attended the PFE conference in October, TA went up on stage and said, mentioned that to everybody. And they had said, oh, Texas has done wonderful things with their PFE program. And so they're going to be looking at all the other districts too of what are you doing at your with your PFE program? Are you building those relationships? Are you inviting families and things like that? Well, anyway, we'll start off with the oh, and so today we're going to look at all those policies and then find trends and findings. So let's go into the PFE policy section. Who needs a written parent and family engagement policy? Who needs it? Everybody. Yes, thank you. Well, not everybody in Texas, but all our districts in Region 15, because pretty much everybody receives Title I Part A funding. So if you're receiving those Title I Part A funds, you're required to have a PFE policy and have the parents be part of that planning and updating and revising. So one of the questions is, does it need to be board approved? Do you need to have your board to approve it? Well, TA doesn't. You don't has said that you don't have to have board approval unless your school policy requires it. So we go in with the LEA policy. You must, with parents, plan like all the PFE programs that your district's going to have, the activities, the procedures, anything that involves parent and family members. So are you doing this? Is your district doing this? We hope so. Yes, the answer is yes. Also, work with parents to create a PFE policy. Incorporate the policy into the district and the DIP. So that's also one of the things I feel districts forget this piece when they work on their DIP is to have a link or incorporate your PFE policy into your DIP. And then the other thing is evaluate the policy annually. I mean, you could update it throughout the year, and you could update it how many ever times that you need to, but the minimum is annually. Do you do that? Does your district do that? Questions on this? When we say work with parents and create a PFE policy, please remember that it has, when you're working with parents, you might have a site-based committee, but you have to have more than two parents be part of that committee. And now we have been told that if you have a parent committee, then in the parent committee, it has to be over 51% of your committee has to be parents. We did follow up with TEA and we are getting more clarification for that. So stay tuned to see what they say and we'll get back to y'all with that too. Okay, so what do you need to put in the policy? Does everybody have their policy in hand? Okay, I see y'all shaking your heads. Yes. So Um, so in that policy, you need to explain, and remember, this one's the district one. You also need to have a campus one. So we'll go over the campus one later. And so I say that because there have been districts that have submitted their district policy, but it's their campus policy. Um, so in your district policy, you're wanting to explain the school's participation in the Title I program. And so and you have to also remember this document, it's not for TEA. It's not for me. Like the PFE policy is for parents. So I'm part of the statewide council. Last week we had a meeting, an in-person meeting in Austin, and there were parents in this committee on the council, and they said, "You don't know what Title One is." And they're like, "Ma'am, how long have you been?" It's like my entire life. And so the person that from the ESE and the district were like, "We have annual Title One meetings every year. We swear, we we swear we do." But we have parents, and actually, I want to say too, sometimes we have teachers that they don't even know what Title One is, or like what is. So when you put it into policy, in your policy of explaining the Title One policy, how do you, and I'll show you an example here in a minute, but how do you explain what Title One is, that it's the verbiage is like parent friendly for your parents? Um, I've seen a lot of policies that you see a lot of statute in there. Do you think our parents want to read a lot of statute? No, and so I feel like sometimes when we're creating these policies, we are going off the like our checklist of oh, we need to explain what Title One is. Let me copy this statute piece from the toolkit or from wherever and then put it on the policy. But anyway, enough of the explain. Okay, the next thing that your policy should have is expectations and objectives for a meaningful PFE. So what is your expectations and objectives for your PFE program at your district? Like, and I don't, does anyone have that they want to share? And it could be like you want to build partnerships with your parents to increase um, more participation in your PFE program, thus increasing student success. I, I wouldn't know what your district objectives are, but it needs to be on your PFE policy. Then describe how the ELA, how you're going to involve the parents developing a plan. Um, we do see, again, a lot in the policy, like, oh, we're going to involve parents to develop the PFE plan. Well, they're wanting to know when TA reviews these, it's how are you going to develop a plan with involving your parents? Like, is there something in the policy that has, we have a site-based committee that meets twice a year. Parents are more than welcome to join if they need to contact the superintendent. Here's the number. So they're really looking at how are you involving parents to develop the plan and school improvement plans. So another section that needs to be on your policy is how you're going to distribute the policy to parents. I think we had another PFE training in September. I want to say it was September. And a question was asked of, I sent out the PFE policy with a report card, but how am I going to document that we sent it out with the report cards? Well, one, you can also have a letter explaining what the policy is and why it's attached to the report card, and that could be like your documentation, but also including how you're going to distribute the policy to families in your plan could be also a way that could be used as documentation. The other thing that the policy needs to have is the technical assist that your district's going to provide technical assistance um, and support and build capacity to all the parents and families. And a lot of the times, when we had talked about this last week when we met with the council, is uh, having like if you have a policy and you have a lot of acronyms, like there's certain verbiage that would help parents understand. Like, because we had a parent say, what is building capacity? Like, I don't even know what building capacity is. Um, and so having also like maybe a section where you explain like what certain things, what certain things mean. Um, and then of course having a translation statement. I've always suggested or advised districts to put the translation statement on at the in the cover sheet or that first page of your policy, and it has to be in that language. So we put like a Spanish translation that says you'll see one here like hola, if si necesita más información contacta a esa persona, blah, blah, blah. Contact this person. And then if you have it on your website, the link, it should be, we had districts put like, this is, and I'm gonna look at Mason. I'm just using Mason because it's Mason's PFE policy, and in parentheses, they'll say Spanish. Well, does somebody that speaks Spanish, would they know to click on that? No. So even the links, like if it's going to be in the Spanish policy, having the link in Spanish. Okay, and so there's still more things that need to be in this district policy. The other thing that needs to be how you're going to coordinate and integrate PFE strategies, conduct the involvement of parents in an annual evaluation of the PFE program and policy. This one, and we'll go more in detail here when we talk about the evaluation, but if you use a focus group, if you use groups, or you sent out a survey or a Google survey, looking at those questions with your parents and deciding, what do I really want to what do I want to ask my parents? What kind of feedback am I looking for? So because we've had districts send out surveys and have questions, and it was like 20 questions. Do you, and I don't know, I do have a lot of small schools. And sometimes the parents that are part of like the site-based committees, they all have to do evaluations and questions for so many other programs. And we don't want to overwhelm our parents. And so it's always advised what kind of feedback are you looking for? And then not making it like 5 questions would be good. Use the findings of the evaluation to revise the program and policy, involve parents in the activities. So that is what needs to be in your policy. Do y'all have any questions on the policy piece? Like what needs to be in there? Like while I was talking about what needs to be in here, were y'all looking at y'all's policy?
Yes, and now I know what I'm doing wrong. Because I have been one of those that post the parent policy in English, and then I have the one in Spanish right below it, but it's in English saying it's in Spanish. And I don't know, being a Spanish speaker also, I didn't even think that I needed to have it in Espanol. So I will change that.
You know, Erica and Erica, Elizabeth, you know what I like because I have reviewed your policy is I like how you have it in a table and it's really easy to follow along. Like, so as a parent, it would be really easy for me to see, oh, these are the events. This is 20. I like that about your policy. So
Thank
good
you.
job.
Yeah, I
The
followed the handbook or the template or the whatever.
the toolkit, yes,
Yes, the toolkit.
because that is something TEA has said to us before. Is they really like for districts to follow the toolkit, and so I'll show you here if you haven't seen the toolkit of what it looks like. Okay, how do you distribute your PFE policy? Does anyone want to answer how they send out their PFE policy so that families can get it?
So we do it multiple ways. It's distributed through the campuses individually by newsletter in the Title I meeting. It's also posted on our website and it's giving, I'm trying to think where else we linked it, in our shack meeting, our campus, the CEIC meeting. It's also given out in the district, DEIC meeting. I don't know. I think we put it everywhere, even the board meeting.
Perfect. And those are one of the things that also, when we even talked about the beginning of that two-way communication. So, because if you give, so now I'm going to use this because I've used this before. Like I've gone to ARD meetings and I've gotten that ARD document for parents, the parent guide, or what is it called? I see. I get it every single time. Is it is it parents' right? It's given to parents at the ARD meeting every single time. Do I read it? I I work in education, and I don't even know what it's called. So anywho, so our parents, when we're giving out your policies, do they even know what it actually is? Um, are you getting feedback from parents over this? It's just, just things to consider. So these are a couple of ways that um, districts had distributed out their policies. Um, I think one of the good ones, or it should be good, if I know school districts struggle with their annual Title I meeting, but if you have parents that are attending your annual Title I meeting and you have them there, this is a great place to distribute out your policy and even get feedback from them during this. The website, they have social media pages, mails, emails, newspaper. Um, I like also the student during the student registration. So when like students are registering new students, and even like at the beginning of the year, they include the PFE policy in this one, and parent teacher conferences. The other thing, um, um, well, it's on the compact, so I'm gonna come back. Don't let me forget about signing compact. Okay. Okay, so here is one district that put the distribution piece in their PFE policy. And so I like the pictures that they have in there. They said they were going to put it on the district website, their Facebook page. They're going to have printed copies of the PFE plan upon request. They're also, which I put this on here too because I wanted y'all to see, which wasn't on the other one, at PTO meetings. If you have a PTO at your school, does your PTO know about the PFE policy and how they could like maybe give those out to parents too and help? And I like that idea. And then have, that they're gonna have it available in Spanish. So this is a piece that they have in their PFE policy. Where can you find samples and templates of the LEA PFE policy? So if you're working on it, where could you like go see some samples,
Region 16.
Region 16. Yes, that's the perfect answer. But so one, Region 16, the PFE initiative, statewide initiative, has and I'll show you here. I'm gonna have a slide on the resources, and you can scan the QR code and it's gonna take you straight to those pages so you could see the templates. But here in that PFE template that Region 16 does, within there, this is the sample that they provide. So it has PFE program, what is it, expectations, objectives. Oh, there's another one of that. So here, I would say though, this is the sample one. So what we don't want to see is, let me see. Okay, I'll just say Region 15. I don't want to say Region 15 ISD wants to provide effective two-way communication, a child's parents more involved in experiences, learning together. Or Region 15, what is this? Region 15 ISD is committed to our vision. Every student matters and serves a purpose. Like we don't want to copy word for word the template, right? So we want to create our create our policy, and then have the discussion with your parent and family what needs to be in there, and so on. So remember, this is again just a sample. Here is another sample from another school district and that Loan is committed to the goal providing, and they had their expectations and objectives of Loan school recognized that some students need the extra assistance available through the Title I program to reach the state high academic standards. And then our school is committed to including parents in all aspects of the school Title I program. See, I love the simpleness, like very parent friendly, I feel. Here is the Region 16 sample as well. Example I see will. And so then it lists what they plan to do. So hold regular meetings where parent advisory board will seek input of families. They're going to distribute the PFE policy by, it says how they're going to distribute it. I like that, distributing printed copies and QR codes. So you have QR codes and have them at the annual meetings. Have a representative there at the school annual Title I meeting, at the PFE event. Maybe help your teachers look at the policy and maybe give it out to your parents in the parent-teacher conferences. Those are that's Region 16 example. There's some more. And here they provided theirs at the bottom, like in another language, their translation policy. I also like, please fill out the survey to help us meet your needs for other training. So that is like the evaluation piece too. They're wanting to get feedback from parents. And so they do like this Google form. And I thought that was really cool to include like a Google form. Here's another one from one of our districts. Here, you see at the front page, it says like, hola, por favor, háganos saber si necesita más documentos. And then like Santa Ana's mission statement, and then how to join the Mountaineer family. Like they have an advisory council. They want you to join them, who their team is. Like I thought that was interesting. And these are made out of Canva. Here they have that the ISD is going to work together with parents, sharing their plans, supporting parent engagement, building stronger partnerships. That's another example. Can you include the policies in the student handbook that is provided to parents annually? Yes or no? Yes. I hate Amanda saying. Okay. Yes, you can. But you have to make sure that it's the most recent one available. So if you have like you meet with your PFE committee and you make some changes on your PFE policy, you have to include an addendum and redistribute that out to parents. It has to meet the translation requirements. And the PFE policy must be noted separately in the table of contents so it could be easily accessed for parents. What are the compliance documentation that you need? So if you were to get randomly selected this year for your PFE district policy, what do you need to show? So you need to have your, my bad. It's last year's, not current year, sorry, parent and family engagement policy, your meeting agenda from all the planning. And so also in the agenda, it needs to have, because we had last year districts attach the agenda, but it didn't have like the note on there or like the topic of reviewing PFE policy or policies and compacts and things like that. And even on the meeting notes, there was nothing in there saying we reviewed the PFE policy. We decided to keep it the same and the same one from last year with no changes necessary or whatever. And I say that because that was also another question at another PFE event summit that I attended. We had a district ask, well, what if my PFE policy is the same as last year? Because there wasn't really any, there was no changes needed. So they said, making sure that you had proof of that in your minute. Proof of policy distribution, proof of informing parents about their opportunities to be involved in the development and or revision of the PFE program and policy, parent feedback and input regarding the creation and revision of the policy. Question. So in the toolkit, it gives you examples of, and I included this of the SAM of sign-in sheets, agendas, and meeting minutes. And what they say on the sign-in sheets, for you to go ahead and put in the roles and stuff. So parents can come in and sign their name. Do it. And here you also see the agenda. And you can see that it has like an explanation of what the Title I program is, an explanation of the Title I requirements, how the right of family to be involved and how they can support their child's learning, and things like that. So just to give you some examples of what they're looking for in the agenda, meeting minutes, and sign-in sheets. Here's one too that I got from a school district. You can see in their agenda as well, parent-family engagement overview. What is parent-family engagement? What does it look like in Santa Ana? A brief introduction of each attendee. Because you want to make your parents feel comfortable in your meetings and because you want them to come back, right? And maybe even invite other parents to attend. And then parent-family engagement meetings that are already scheduled, we had them there. Recommendations for leading the next committee and Q&A, open discussion. So all of that is on his agenda and his notes and his sign-in sheet, which I do want to say, and I was really proud of Mr. Wyatt this past year because he had so many parents attend and sign in. And so I was like, you got that many parents? So I was really proud of him. Think about your policy. So now that we've kind of gone over like what needs to be in your policy, what is some compliance pieces that you need? And I put on the side here like the checklist, and that's what we kind of went over. How you can evaluate your district PFE program. Yeah, usually I give about 5 minutes or so for this slide so that you could kind of review your PFE policy. Y'all need the 5 minutes? Or if we're doing this in person, we're gonna go through we're gonna go through each one. Like I don't know if y'all have y'all's PFE policy up. No, let me see. Thank you for that. So we have questions. I am the AT at Bellinger. I just had to generate, but I'm going to. Oh, sorry. This is directly to me. There, the check-in code should be today's date. So the check-in code for today's workshop is 1113. No, that's the password, the check-in code. Is it different? Because I want to say Ida puts in, I want to say it's 1113. If it doesn't work, let me know. Because if it's not 1113, it might be 111324. Yes, you would be able to get a copy of the slide. ChatGPT is a great tool that you can use to go in there and make also the like what you have right now in your PFE policy and change it into a more parent-friendly version on each document. What did he do to get that many parents there? So, one of the things that Santa Ana has is Parent University. And so he's no longer there, but he had started this program at his district where every year at the beginning of the year, they give parents certain points for events to attend. So we know parents attend like the Christmas program or like the Head Start graduation. Like there's certain things that parents, attend, like the band concert or so on. But there's also, uh, you know, STEM night or literacy night and stuff. And so the annual Title I meeting, and those are the ones that sometimes parents might not attend. So for those events, they gave them a little more higher points. And towards the end of the year, they would have this graduation for parents that finished the university. But he built this relationship with the parents and families, and he got his head teachers to build these relationships with parents to invite them in. And one of the things that he also had shared with me before is he would get students to present at certain events as well. And so the students would then, he would get the students to invite their parents. So it wasn't so much like the teacher led, it was more student led. So good question. So 1113 worked. Good. Any questions? There's also a form that was created when I met with a district. They said, again, my parents don't know when we invite them to attend the PFE committee to review the policies and compacts, they don't want to do it. They don't want to come to it. But if you think about it, as parents, if I don't feel comfortable, if I don't know the language, I don't even know what the policy is. What am I looking at? What am I supposed to do? I feel like uncomfortable. What am I even doing here? So we created this document to help districts invite parents to participate in this. And then it has questions. Maybe they'll hold on. Oh man, I thought I had a better one where you could see a lot of the questions. But it has questions on there too of that it's a little bit more parent friendly, and so that parents could feel comfortable in asking questions like, and while they're reviewing the policy, they can see like, did you add how parents can be involved with the school? So then it's like, oh, well, how can parents be involved? And did you see Mr. Wyatt's PFE policy where he's like, how to be a mountaineer, like contact us. Here's the people that you need to contact. Like, does it have something like that for parents? Like, oh, well, yeah, I know. Or like, here are some volunteer opportunities for parents. Um, who who can parents contact if they have a question, or if where do they go? Um, and if you don't understand English, like you see a translate, somewhere where documents can be somewhere else, then where could they get it? And well, anyway, here's this document to help districts. It will also be, I'm going to send you a link here at the end with the presentation and the toolkit and documents like this so that you could use when you're creating or revising your PFE policy. Last year, we had 12 districts selected. Here are some findings from the policies that they had submitted and the documentation that they submitted. So links were not working. So they had the PFE policy and you would click on the link and it would give you an error message, or it was taking them to a policy from 1999 or something. Just a different year. It wasn't the current policy. Um, the whole evaluation piece, there were quite a few policies that didn't have the evaluation piece, and didn't include how you were going to involve your parents in this evaluation piece of how am I going to improve the PFE program at your district, or the PFE policy piece, like that whole evaluation piece was missing. They didn't have a sign-in sheet. They submitted the wrong document. So we had some districts submit the compact, even a high school policy, a campus policy instead of the district one. They provided the wrong year. They had old statute of, there was findings of like NCLB and just one of, old statute. But that's one thing that we also suggest, like this document's for parents, and do parents know the statute, or, but anywho, sign-in sheets were for different events, and it wasn't, so sign-in sheet was for like open house, where they held the meeting, but it wasn't for the PFE program meeting, if that makes sense. Any questions? Okay, so here are some resources to help you with your PFE policy. So you have this first QR code and links going to take you to region 16. Oh no, did it? Okay, so wrong one. It's gonna take you to this folder where it has all the toolkits and checklists, and you'll see right here it says PFE requirement training. So you're also going to get other things for the other ones. But there you go. So you'll be able to have all of this. Then you have what Elizabeth had said, you always, region 16 provides a lot of resources for you. So here is the resource. You would go here, PFE toolkits, and then you would have all your toolkits, but your PFE toolkit right there. Oh, okay. How do I make this go up? How about this? There you go. Okay, we're back. And then you have the program compliance self-check guide. I'm not going to click on it. Um, there's a QR code to take it. You can scan the QR code and it'll take you to the program compliance self-check guide. I don't want to click on it because then it's gonna be hard for me to get back on. Are you okay with that? Any questions? Questions. Okay. So what I have here is the other thing too, and that what we discussed in the past is making, like if you have your PFE policy, which a lot of our districts have their PFE policy, they use the distribution piece of, they're going to distribute the PFE policy on their website, but they have the PFE policy in their website like in a crazy spot where parents can't find it. And so we live in a time where you want the information and you want it pretty fast, right? And so there's research done of if it takes more than 3 clicks, usually a person's going to not quit looking for it. So does your PFE policy, can your parents get it in less than 3 clicks? And is it somewhere where they would know it's at? So we're going to spin the wheel. We're going to pick a district and we're going to see if it takes us more than 3 clicks. Okay. So let's see who the lucky district is. And if you're in here, you're probably thinking, don't pick me. Don't pick me. Because I know I would be like that. Like, okay, so we have Harper. Let's go. Let's see. Okay, don't count these because I'm going to go to your website first. We're not counting the Harper. Where are you? Okay. So here is Harper ISD's website. So I am a parent and I want to find the PFE policy. And we're hoping maybe Harper pass it on their site. And events. Where would you click? I'm a parent. I guess there's a parent tab here. So let's see if it's at the parent tab. There's one. No, that's not it. I have to go back. That's 2. What about departments? Well, I know as a parent, I'm gonna click special programs. But this is, I know I have like my educator hat on. That's free. Let's search. If I'm a parent, I want to let's search the nephew policy.
Maybe under About Us. Handbooks and forms. There you go.
Student parent documents. I didn't find it, but maybe Harvard is decided not to include the PFE policy, distributed out their website. But it that's another campus. So if you put on there the way that you distribute out your PFE policy is the website, is it in a place that parents can find? Okay. And so there'll be another opportunity because I'm going to do this again with the campus policy and the compacts. Okay, so that was the PFE policy, the district one. Do y'all have any questions before we go into the campus one? Question. And this is a safe space for y'all. Okay. But we're here for you if you have any other questions. No. Okay, so now we're going to look at the campus PFE policy. And so I want to say a lot of our districts thought it was just one of these policies. So it was the assumption of, oh, I do have a PFE policy. And they were looking at the campus policy. They had created a policy and they had got like the requirements, but it was the campus policy, not the district one. And so you need to have both. And so maybe you have the district one and it's ready to go, but you don't have a campus one. And it can't be the same one because at, the district level, you're looking at the PFE policy and you're looking at district wide, what am I doing for the PFE program? What are we going to do to support parents and families and so on? The campus ones are a little different. And your elementary campus is going to look different than your secondary campus, right? Because the needs are different for our students. So here is a little bit about the campus policies. It's same, and you'll see some similarities, but we're going to go through it and see, while you create your campus one. You'll need to work with parents to create a policy and make sure you keep all your documentation needed. Your SAN, the sign-in sheet, agenda, and meeting minutes. You're going to also distribute out your campus policy in a format that they understand. Make this campus policy available in the community, and then we'll update the policy periodically. So what goes into the policy? So your campus policy, you're going to need to have information about the PFE program, the funding, and possible review by TEA. So like in the when we talked earlier about the district one, it was what is Title I, and we talked about making it parent friendly because we have parents that are like, we don't need what Title I, what is this? So for this one, like, what is PFE program? What does that even look like? So letting parents know about your PFE program, the funding for it, information about family activities and meetings. So maybe when you're having your annual Title I meeting, and that you're offering it at flexible times, different days and times. And there are some, and I've seen PFE policies that have just a statement over it of, we provide annual Title I meetings in the fall or in the fall and spring. And it's just very broad. And they've told me like, well, Monica, we don't even know, we haven't even set dates for our annual Title I meeting. So we don't know those yet. And that's okay. There is also a district that has a live policy. So when things change, the parents know to go and look, and they'll see, oh, they're having a parent meeting or things like that. Information on how to be involved in the planning, review, and improvement of PFE programs and the policy, a description and explanation of the school's curriculum, forms of academic assessment, expected achievement levels on academic assessment. And I'm going to tell you, I just had a parent call me during lunch for one of our districts and asked, hey, I'm really wanting more information about my child's honor classes, and I don't really know anything like that. And their child's in the secondary level, and they said that the school had told them, well, really, the child needs to be more responsible, and if they can't make it in the honors classes, then they need to maybe consider dropping the honor class. And I'm listening to the parent and stuff, but I just thought, wow, like we want, and we hear all the time too, secondary level parents are non-existing. Like we have high participation at the elementary, secondary parents aren't there. It's harder to build relationships for teachers at the secondary level because some of those teachers have they just don't have one classroom. They have hundreds of kids. And so, but having the relationship of you have a parent that's wanting to help their child with their honor classes and they wanting more information, that should be a good thing. Like that should be really like that's what you want. You want the parents to go in there and be that support for their child. You want to build that capacity. Anyway, ways to request regular meetings. One of the things that you could have in your campus policy is a parent compact. So, but the parent compact is, and it says optional to include it in the campus policy. So you have districts that include the compact within the campus policy, but you don't have to include the compact in the policy. You can, but you'll create your compact and you can have your compact separately. And then of course, a translation statement stating where and how the policy can be accessed in other languages. Questions of what needs to be in the campus policy. See, because you don't want to add the the forms of academic assessment and curriculum and all that in the district one. The campus one has like the different one. Question. But you need to have both. You need to have both campus and district. Here's doesn't meet compliance. And I hope y'all have y'all's campus policy up and are looking at this. And this is one of the checklists that you can look at and say like, bless you.
Thank you.
Meeting copy of current school year, parent family engagement policy, meeting agendas from all planning division meetings, proof of policy distribution, parent feedback and input regarding creation, revision of the policy. And then there's a one that's missing a little checkbox, but it's proof of informing parents about the opportunities to be involved. I don't know. I know there was a district and I met this school district at one of the summits, the PFE summits, and I got their flyer, but they had hired an individual for Title I that would just answer all parent. It was like a parent hotline. And so the parents could call this hotline and just, ask all these questions and get feedback and stuff. So I thought that was really interesting. Questions? I think I'm losing my voice. I think I'm losing my beautiful Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston voice. If y'all haven't heard, if y'all go to a retreat the Title I retreats that we do in Fredericksburg, usually hear me sing beautifully at the karaoke. But anywho, here is a sample that Region 16 provided of the campus policy. So it has what is it, the funding piece, the review, family meetings. They put first Friday of each month, and they put first Saturday of each month, how to be involved. Like you can become a member of the Guardian Engagement Committee by filling out the application here. And they link a Google form, attend the meeting above and the family trainings activities below. Here is another one that a district provided that Santa Ana did, Mr. Todd. The funding and review, Santa Ana Elementary gets Title I Part A funding. I think there was a typo in there. But anywho, see how he did this? So, policy distribution. How do you distribute out your campus? And it might be the same way that you distribute out your District 1. And then I say that because a lot of our school districts are a little smaller, but in larger school districts, the campuses, how do you distribute out your PFE campus policy? Do you put it in your handbook, your annual Title I meetings, all that? So newspaper, registration, parent-teacher conference, so on. Is there any other way different that anybody else does it differently? Okay. So here is a slide of the differences between the two. So when you're looking at your district policy and your campus policy, here you'll see the difference between both of them. So when you're creating it, you could go back and look at this document. Which is document's going to be in that Google folder I'm going to send y'all out. Oh yes. One more thing. There is a requirement too that pre-K has a PFE policy, or it's called Family Engagement Plan. But it is not the same as the PFE policy or the campus policy one. So it doesn't replace it. So I did follow up with our pre-K person, and she said yes, that it is a requirement as well. We all probably have to do another family engagement policy plan for the pre-K program. Okay, so we are going to we're going to do the spinner. It's going to be randomly selected and we're going to see if they have it on their website and if it's easy to access the campus policy. May. Oh. I'm going to have to go back to, I closed it out. So we're also, I'm going to plug in the Rise and Teach conference. Erin Burrell from Freedom Writers will be here. Oh, do you attribute? Elizabeth, well, hold on. Let me see if I can find you. Let me go to Google then.
It's quick. Just put in Greenwood ISD and then click on parents and students.
Well, I'm going to pretend to be a student. You can't walk me through it.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Well, thank you for letting us use. Okay, is this one it? Is this your website?
It is.
Okay. So I'm a parent. I need to somebody told me about this parent policy. So I'm gonna go to parent campus. So we're looking for the campus one. Well, let's go elementary then.
You won't find it that way. Because they
Um,
don't do separate campus ones.
Okay, so it's not that one. I'm gonna go to the parent.
You have to scroll down more.
Oh, yeah, see?
Top.
Is it in here?
No. It's actually the parents and family, but it's
This one?
yes.
Oh, okay.
And it's in
Oh,
alphabetical,
I see where
which
you
is
see.
why is at the bottom. But I feel like it needs to
Here?
be at the top. What's that? For the elementary? Are you looking for the elementary?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because I
that's it.
said, yeah, okay. Oh, so you use the template, Region 16 template. Very good. What is it? Funding review, family meetings. Oh, I like the information will be sent out via all social media platforms. I like that.
Yeah, because it was done like we have 3 new principals, so it was hard to get it all like in place quickly, as you're starting school. So it was better for them. They communicate a lot through Remind and their newsletters. So I had them just add that piece so that way parents, if they didn't have a designated date yet, they could still get the information or know that it would be coming.
I also like the how to be involved. Like I'm a parent and I want to be involved. And he said, contact your child's teacher about volunteering in the classroom via email or dojo. Like, and if you don't know your child's teacher's email, reach out to the principal. And he gave me a number and an email. So go on. Meet the teacher, the Title I meeting. And this is, I feel like as parents, like having this already laid out in days and times, you know? Instead, sometimes we sent out a text like, oh, the annual Title I meeting is next week. Or, but having this already at the beginning of the year and like parents be aware of, where and when they can attend the event, the parent event, is really good. One of the things the district did, I wonder if Janina, oh yes, Janina's here. So Janina, well, they did a parent cafe. And so at the beginning of the year, they had like a magnet that you could stick in the fridge with dates of their parent cafes. And I thought, that's really good. Because as a parent, like it's on my fridge of the dates that I need to be at school. And so I thought that was really, thank you. Oh, forms of academic assessments.
So the only thing is I also added I don't know if you noticed the
Okay.
ESL meetings, you know how they do the parent meetings for Title III or that cover that as well. So those are in there also to let parents know, like those are available through Zoom and how they can register for them.
I love that. I really, really like that. And then where parents can register. You know what? I also saw another school district added the QR codes on here as well. Ways to request regular meetings. And through the template, they added the school parent compact piece. So it is, I can see that it's on here as well. And I like, see, the only thing is that translation statement.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Where it should have been in Spanish, just in case they clicked on the wrong one.
Mm-hmm.
And probably at the very top versus the very
Right.
bottom.
Mm-hmm. I always recommend that too, like having it at the very top. Because more than likely that's more than one page. And if it's like I'm not gonna go to the last page, Okay, thank you. That was a good one. Great job. Now back to the Questions? Questions on the school policy? Do y'all need a break or do I keep going? Y'all need a break? Okay. So, and that was a lot. So that was a lot of information for I am going to do, so the next two pieces is we're going to go over the compact and we'll go over like the evaluation piece, um, for your PFE program. So I'm going to give y'all, do y'all want 10 or 15? 15?
Then is fine, or whatever.
I'm going to give y'all 15. Take a break, make some calls, send an email. But get a snack and I'll see y'all in 15 minutes. We'll see y'all at 2:25. Oh, yes. Thank you. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Oops. I hope everyone enjoyed. Well, what did I do? Enjoyed their break. Oh, I like you. Why does it keep doing it? Okay, let me try this again. Full screen. There it goes. Okay, so we went over the policies, district and campus. Now we're going to look at your school parent compact. And you saw Elizabeth had shared her campus policy, and she had included hers at the bottom of the campus policy. You don't, you could create your own campus ones, and we'll look at some examples. So what goes into the compact? So, and if you looked at Elizabeth, you will have a what the school is responsible for, what the teachers are responsible for, what students are responsible for. Oh no, it's not teachers. This is the school is a teacher. What parents are responsible for. So you'll have those three sections, and usually, in this, I told y'all earlier, don't let me forget. We see school districts distribute out the compact, and then they were like, oh, well, we had parents sign the compact. Well, if you have one parent sign it, they want all parents to sign it. So it's usually advised not to, not to get your parents to sign it. But if you look at the school's responsibility of the compact section, you need to include the curriculum and instruction that, Region 15 ISD is going to provide a supportive and effective learning environment. We're going to list volunteer opportunities in the classroom, opportunities to participate, and in the decisions relating to the education of their children, and positive use of extracurricular time. Then there'll be a parent section on the compact, which as parents, you want to list in ways in which they will support their child's learning, how they can volunteer in their child's classroom, participate as appropriate in decision relating to the education of their children, and positive use of extracurricular time. And so we're going to look at samples here so you can see. Students' responsibilities. So ESSA does not specify what the student's responsibilities are. This needs to be determined by the local education agencies via their CNA or other method. This is something when you review your policies and compacts with your parents, it's something that y'all can discuss. And I feel like this document for parents is a little bit easier when you're discussing, because you could ask parents like, what do you think we should put on here or what? And so I've seen compacts that state that students need to learn how to take care of their technology equipment, and I'm so sorry. I know we pulled up Elizabeth, but now I forgot what Elizabeth's students' responsibilities on her compact were. But um, I've also like the child should be learning, asking questions if they have any issues. So those were some of the responsibilities that I've seen in the past. For parents, it's been some like I will get my child to school on time, 7:20 or a.m. I'll write a doctor's note when my child is absent from school. I would, but these are some of the conversations you could have in your parent meetings with your parents. The compact outlines the importance of ongoing communication between teachers and parents. I did see that on yours, Elizabeth. You had the school, parent, student, and then the communication piece to it, such as your annual conferences, access to staff, I misspelled volunteering, opportunities, classroom observations, and regular two-way meaningful communication in a way that the family understands. I did have this earlier. So that this document that I shared it earlier, when you meet with parents, um, you could give this document to parents and have questions that will help them. But even if you start off with a compact, I think that would be a great idea because you can ask like, let's look at students' responsibilities. What should, students' responsibilities should be? Who can parents contact if they have a question? Where can parents go if they have questions? Did you add the best way to give these documents? There's another misspelling to parents. um, Here is on the back of that one pager, things to review on the district policy, the school campus one, and then the compact. Here is an example of a compact, and I thought this one was really interesting. So I attend school every day unless the students agree that just in school every day unless I'm sick, follow the school rules so that everybody can learn and be safe, give my parents the notes my teacher sends. Just and as a parent, here are some examples that reinforce good behavior at school, attend school activities, ensure my child eats healthful foods and gets enough sleep. As a teacher, I agree to encourage a positive self-concept in all my students, attend school activities, remain steadily fast professional. As an administrator, support high academic standards, encourage school and home learning partnerships. I think this one's a good one. So even when you have your parent meeting, asking parents like, are these some ways, I think we should add these to our compact? What are your thoughts? Which one's your favorite? Which one? And we'll just have those discussions with them. This school district did their compact in like little booklets. So it's folded into this little booklet but it's a one page. And I really like the way they did it. They added school information, like who they need to register, the front office, the nurse, the parent liaison, the library, the counselors, and then they added, of course, the principal and assistant principal information on there. They added a section of like, what is a family school compact? Like, what is this? And I've even had some teachers be like, what are we agreeing to? But having it here, so like teachers for math, teachers language arts, the student, this one has we'll keep the Chromebook in good and working condition. We'll bring my Chromebook to school fully charged daily with their case. We'll be on time and engage both. I guess this was during COVID because we'll communicate virtually and on campus. We'll attend tutorials as needed. These are some good ones. Others, I will send my child to school before 8:50 a.m. and so on. So that's another example. Here is another example. It's into a brochure. And so it has um, like their social media, how to get in touch, their address, like what is a family compact, that it was developed together, pictures of their family at their school, uh, their goals for student achievement, and they put on there what the school wants will be doing, what parents will responsibilities, student responsibilities. Wait, wait, made it very parent friendly. Okay, so that is the compact piece. I don't know what's Fast and Furious. Um, Questions about the compact. Questions, comments, concerns. Okay, enough. So now we have the PFE evaluation piece. So if you scan that QR code, it's going to take you to Region 16's page where it'll have the evaluation toolkits and all the toolkits that you need. Uh, the evaluation piece is required for your PFE program. Your PFE program needs to be evaluated, and it is a requirement that you have parents help you with this piece and get their input. So then it is also a requirement for the PFE program and its policy to be revised based on the results of the evaluation. So in the toolkit, the PFE toolkit, you're going to see a page on there where it has like the policy documentation and evaluation. So usually when I review policies, I usually print this page out and then I go through and look up, oh, does it have a current policy? Yes. Is the LEA parent family engaged in a format written? Yes or no? And so then it has like what documentations do you have if partnered up with your parents to develop this policy? Do you have your flyers, your committee list rolls, sign-in sheet, agenda, minutes, so on? And just check them out. So it's something that you can use when you are reviewing your policies with your parents. So the evaluation cycle is there's a review, plan and update, deliver, get feedback, analyze data, and report and strategize. So in the chat, add a way that you evaluate your PFE policy or program, maybe the program too. What are some ways that you do it? And it could be maybe you have a focus group, a committee. Do you send out a survey? I think a lot of districts put out surveys. And bless you. I would, and yes, I could, if you just logged in and haven't registered, I will register you too for this conference. Nobody put on there how they evaluate the program. So I'm thinking, I do see a lot in our ESC that y'all do surveys. Meetings and surveys. Oh. So I do, and I see that that's very common, the surveys. And I'll show a district that did a survey. Okay, so review process. It's at the beginning of every year. If you have a parent advisory committee, it's composed of educators, parent guardians, city entities, and local businesses. Remember, if it is a parent committee, it needs to be um, more parents need to be part of this committee than anybody else. And then you review your data from the previous year. So if you have your data, maybe you're new to your campus and you're like, I don't even know if the previous person did an evaluation. I have no Nothing. I have nothing. It's okay. It is okay. Well, you can start one this year. Um, so you'll discuss ways to evaluate your PFE program. This is usually takes place the end of September. Review the needs of parents, the barriers, strategies to support successful PFE interactions. Usually determine your demographics, like what, we just had, maybe you're a district that had a lot of newcomers this year or something. So how are you going to support families of newcomers? Or maybe, you know, you got surveyed back, and a big one that I had parents at the council say was mental health. And so mental health was a big topic of maybe your parents want more mental health workshops or um, resources for them. And then you can create a SMART goals for the school year. Then you have the plan and update. So conduct annual Title I meetings in the fall, 2 different days at different times of the day. Parent feedback should be collected at your annual Title I meeting. So if you have not done your annual Title I meeting, you still have time. You still have time to set that up. But don't forget to get this, get the feedback evaluations from your parents. And earlier today, like I mentioned, your PFE policy. This is a great event where you could distribute out the PFE policies and compact, and even get feedback from your parents during those. And
Yeah.
I know,
Oh,
is there a question?
No, I was just gonna mention that in ours, like we included a link and a QR code to a Google Doc or Google Form, so that way they could provide that feedback. Just with like probing questions, and it also just kind of helped with evaluating our policy and our compacts, because we kind of have it where it sections it off, but then they had a simple like, do you feel like it needs changes, yes or no? And if it was a yes, then we had below that, so, give us some changes that you would like to see or whatever. But I felt like that was helpful because they had it right there in front of them, and we could say, okay, like everybody go to the QR code and um, complete it.
I personally love that. Um, and the fact that you're there too and helping them, because we have districts that do the evaluation piece and they sent out the survey at the end of the school year, and that's great. I mean, they're checking the box, right? So they did it. But if you ask like how many parents filled it out, they it's very minimal. They'll be like, I had 5 parents fill out the survey, or parents did not fill out the survey. So having them there and helping them if they have even a question while they're filling that survey out is perfect. I helped our migrant program um, with their evaluation, and our migrant program had done wonderful things with their parents and provided so many resources, and they did so many events, and they did just so much for the family. And I knew this because I witnessed all of this. Well, they evaluated their migrant families at the end of the year. And while I'm reading the questions to them and helping, like I'm just, because we had some families that didn't know how to read. So I was one of the persons like reading the questions to the family. And I asked, like, they're asking if you enjoyed the resources, or like if the resources were helpful to you. And the parents were like, we didn't get no resources. We didn't. And I just thought, like, yes, you did. I know you did. But we forget. We forget. So if you ask me, if I do a parent survey and if the school was to ask me like about all the PFE events at my child's school, I'm gonna be like, what events do they have? You know? And so it's always best practice to evaluate them um, after each event. Or again, annual Title I meeting would be a great place to have it. Anywho, next, plan ways to overcome barriers such as school climate, culture, language, funding, time, technology. Also, maybe providing that transportation or childcare for parents. Involve parents in the planning of all Title I party activities. Um, We have more adult plan and updates. If a parent wants to meet, be sure to set up a meeting for them. The building capacity piece, aid parents in understanding the assessment requirements, how to monitor a child's progress. And this is, and I do see a lot of school districts provide workshops on the parent portal, like how to use the parent portal. I've even seen parents, teachers teach parents, and then parents are then helping other parents on, oh, this is how you use the parent portal. This is so I thought that was really neat. How to work with educators to improve the achievement of their children, provide materials and training to help parents work with their children. Then there's also that building capacity on teachers. And this is one of the things that I stress this a lot, and I stress this to all of you of don't feel like this is all on you. So I know you have, as the director or the Title I coordinator, you know that you have to have a parent committee, and you have to have more than two parents attend, or you have to have all these parents attend. Don't feel that pressure. Do the trainings that Region 16 provides, that we provide, that for free, that's going to help you build those relationships, those partnerships that you need. Help your teachers help build those partnerships and relationships with the parents. So next week, I'm gonna plug this in again. Next week, we have that national speaker, Ernesto Mejia. And if y'all haven't heard him, he is amazing. This will even help your teachers, like if they're having a stressful year, if they're struggling with parents, because we know, and there's research that's been done, that sometimes teachers aren't leaving because of the pay or because the administrators aren't with on their side. Maybe majority of the teachers leave because they're having issues with parents. So how can you help them build those relationships with parents, how to build partnerships, how to communicate between school and parents? So, and then ensure information given to parents in a language the parents can understand, and provide other support as requested by parents. Then we have the section on the evaluation process of the delivery. So make sure to have all the documentation in place, best practices, training parents to train educators, adopt and implement model approaches from other schools, and PFE hold expos throughout the year. They just had one last week. A school gave a presentation on how they build relationships and partnerships with parents that are incarcerated. So I just thought that was really interesting. But anyway, there's videos. If you didn't go to it, there are links to the recordings of this. So if you're interested in seeing this and seeing how the school partners up and builds relationships with parents who are incarcerated, you can find that at the Region 16 link. Get your feedback at the end of each PFE event. Have participants fill out evaluations. And this also for your policies and compacts. Get the barriers and needs of your parent and families, strategies used to support successful PFE interactions, which reminds me, I had a school district reach out and said, my parents have parents that are struggling with their child's behavior. What type of resources can you help? We have our mental health specialist here. She is providing free Zooms every Thursday. So I want to say December 12th or something like that, to help parents with their child's behavior. And she provided this last year. I attended. It was amazing. I learned so much on how to help when I would lose it when my 9-year-old going on 21. And so, but I thought going through that with her last year, I thought this would be also good for teachers to do. Because sometimes we have students that we lose it sometimes and um on people. And so it helped me. It wasn't on them, it's how to it helped me and to not lose my cool. So anyway, that when parents signed up, we had over 80 parents sign up. A lot of um, the things that were going on or the what we saw was ADHD was a big thing. So parents are wanting resources on ADHD. Also in our region, we see grandparents raising their grandchildren. So supporting grandparents raising children. So when you do your evaluation, um, are you who's your demographics? Who are your parents, guardians? Next thing, investigate into why other parents did not attend. So this one's a big one because I feel a lot of the times we we're hosting an open house and it's a lot of work and we get donations and we're providing childcare and let me tell you a funny story. When I worked with the migrant program, we provided a Christmas program. And so we asked different people to help with childcare. And so Tammy was one that, and I'll never forget. Um, she came out, they were feeding the children, I think, sweets and sodas, and um, nobody spoke English. And she looked at me like, I am never helping you again. So she was like, help me, help me. But, you know, so you imagine after your open house, after your events, you're tired. And sometimes we also have the annual Title I meeting and one person shows up and it's the same parent that and so you're discouraged. But one of the things that you should do is investigate why other parents do not attend. So phone calls, emails like, hey Tammy, why aren't you helping me again? Like why didn't you come? Or what emails. Find out why they didn't attend your events. Be sure the evaluation is available in a format and language all stakeholders can utilize and understand. Questions, comments, stories. We all have those funny stories, right? The last one was we did a back to school in July. And this time I was in the child room. And so they were like, we thought you weren't going to last. I think we still have in our conference room, there was like some slime hanging down where children were like throwing it and filling. Okay, so what are some ways you can monitor the success of your PFE program? And Tammy just said, that is me. And maybe y'all haven't even thought and I put this because I'm like, monitor the success of your PFE program. Like, what is that? Okay. So when you analyze the data, and I'll give y'all some examples here. Get your parent advisory board to analyze data for all your events. Create smart goals. Be sure to to keep that documentation for your events. Here is that report and strategize. Here's some examples of questions that you could use for your evaluation piece. Some of them are in the toolkit. So if you see down below, it's like they have questions of like, how can we improve actively involving parents in school activities? How can we improve training that we offer parents? Were parents involved in planning the training? That what kind of feedback do you want to get from your parents? So, and then we have another one. The picture one is a district sent out a Google form. So how often did you participate in activities for parents and families at your school? And then she added it in Spanish. And so it said like one or two times, two or four, more than 5 times. Which of the following should following would help you participate more in parent meetings and family engagement activities. Select all that apply. I put this on there because again, like even when I was helping parents, when I would ask questions, they were like, I don't remember. And so if you ask a question of like, what were your favorite resources that we provided that helped you help your child academically? I'm like, I don't know. So if you put in there like the summer books that we gave out, the tutoring programs that we have, like, and let parents see all of that. What are some of the barriers that you have? And maybe listing them there so that they can check it off. Questions, comments. How did LEAs document the annual evaluation of the PFE policy? So here are some acceptable forms that you could use. You can the evaluation meeting agenda, the minute, but making sure you have that you that you document in your meetings that you looked at the evaluation, the questions, the surveys, and looked at barriers to make the PFE program better. Your survey instruments, the survey responses, maybe you have focus group responses, an evaluation report. I did have a district say, Monica, could we ask them one-on-one, like maybe they're dropping off their child and we could, do you have 5 minutes? How would you document that? You could have like a sheet, and when you're asking them, just like, can I ask you some questions to get your feedback really quick? Of course, you're not going to ask them like 20 questions, but you can ask a few. So absolutely. Oop. Any questions, comments, concerns? That is all that I have for the policies and compacts. How do y'all feel? Next week, Tuesday, November 19th, we are going to do this training, but it's going to be in person. And it's going to be also like, I trusted y'all of, oh, have your PFE policy and compacts nearby. And so that you could like be looking at this, but I'm looking at who is attending. I'm printing out your compacts and policies, and we're going through this together. We also have Region 16 is providing regional cluster meetings. Some of them are canceled due to not enough people attending, but the one in San Antonio, which is December 4th, is still happening. It's a mini PFE conference that will help build those partnerships and relationships with your parents. Again, November 19th in the morning, we'll have Ernesto Mejia here. There's a QR code here so that you could register to attend. Oh, let me tell you, I just saw this and I put the wrong regional cluster meeting flyer on there and it says 150 registration. It's not 150. The price is $50 to attend. If you didn't attend the morning session, I shared this with them too, but I want to share it with y'all once again. I'm part of the statewide council. Mr. Wyatt from Santa Ana was also part of statewide council, but he is no longer in our region. He has taken a new role out in Region 2. And so now we have to fill his spot. And so we are looking for a district. It's a 2-year commitment. And let me post the QR code so that it'll take you straight to the council page to show you like what we do. We are, let me go back, composed of TEA, Region 16. I want to say there's 5 ESCs with a district and parents as well. And so you'll attend the conference, a PFE conference, which is in October. This next year, it's going to be in Waco. The council will reimburse you for all the expenses. And we have 2 in face-to-face meetings in Austin throughout the year, one in the fall and one in the spring. I think the spring one's in April. But they also provide trainings for you. So like this past year, it was at Harvard. And I want to say if you join in the summer, you'll get to go to Harvard because I think they're taking a whole new group out to Harvard. And so if you're new, you'll be a Harvard graduate student. Like myself. Have you seen that meme that's like, I went to Harvard. Oh, what did you study for my cousin's graduation? No, but you spend a week in Harvard at the graduate school. And so it's really interesting and you learn so much. For example, I learned I need to change the way I present to our parents and families. But anywho, that's again November 19th. Here are some PFE workshops. We have 4 trainings that are a requirement for us to give out. The next one's, save the date, it'll be February 12th and then May 7th. And so on February 12th, we'll go over the annual Title I meeting evaluation. And that one, I'm reaching out to someone out in Lubbock who at a district who has just changed the way they do annual Title I meetings because they're like, we do the same presentation over and over. Nobody wants to come to them. So the way they changed it. So I'm gonna try to get them actually. If I don't do it, I'm gonna try to get her to come in and help present all that as well. But May 7th, we'll be talking about the building capacity piece, which is one of my favorite things to do. I won't do the parent compact. And that is it. Winter is coming. Are you prepared? Do y'all have any questions, comments, concerns? And we did have 4 districts this year that were selected for their PFE validation. And I will be contacting you, which I've contacted one person already and set an appointment to meet. But if you were selected, I am here to help and we're going to get this done. Question.
When will we hear how we did on the ones that were validated last year?
Oh, that's a great question. If you were validated last year and had to resubmit, you should. I already had a district that already had notes. So you could go in there and just see if you have any notes on there. But I had the email that Vivian from TEA had sent out, but now I can't remember for the life of me what day she had said. Do you know? I have the email, Heidi. I'll email you here in a second on that date.
One of the things that I just wanted to add was like you're thinking about your parent and family engagement policies because we were talking about random validations and people are being validated. And so next year, if you're validated, if you weren't there this morning, next year, if you're validated, the policies and compacts and all those things that you're working on now would be what would be validated next year. So I think one of the things just in the past, working with districts that do get validated on these things is that like half the art is just learning to articulate the things that you already do that are considered parent and family engagement, but learning to like document it in your policy. So you all do things already that are parent and family engagement. You have, pep rallies where parents will do skits. You have booster clubs where the parents are in charge of the taking the money and giving the food. You have all of these things. Your job is to just learn to document those things so that they count as part of your parent and family engagement. And then in your policies, learning to make that parent friendly, showing how they get involved in those ways. So don't leave this session thinking you need to add a bajillion things. I think all of us could probably tighten up the way that we document things just more. I mean, because there's always room for improvement where it comes to that. But if you feel like, okay, my calendar is already spent and I do these parent activities, then learn how to document what you're already doing so that those things, also chances are you have quite a few parents who come into the office, probably not for the best reasons, but they come in and like, how are you counting that as part of your parent and family engagement? You're making time for these people. That's engagement, right? Whether it's positive or negative, that's part of your parent and family engagement. So when you're looking at your policies, just know it doesn't have to be, they don't have to be the most fun things in the world to do. They don't have to be, of course, we want you to do all that, but make sure you're giving yourself credit for all of the things that you're doing that are probably just things that you're thinking, oh, this is just what everybody's doing. No, they're not. And they're actually engagement activities that really lead to having parents more involved in the school. So I just wanted to add that because I just think, all of you are doing such a great job. And I know all of these schools do amazing things with parents. And you want to make sure you get credit for all of the amazing things you're doing. And part of that is just really learning to put it in the right places and just articulate it well.
Thank you, Mercedes. Again, if you're interested on being part of the council, put your name on the chat or send me a direct message, email me. I would love to have you. Questions, comments? If not, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming. Oh.